Hello and welcome to All For United WFC. This is the match preview show. We just had a starting 11. I'm joined by Anthony. How you doing, Anthony, mate?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. You good?
Yeah, good, thank you. Sunshine. I feel like it's a proper football day today. Woke up, got
Y-
the sunshine here, blue skies, and I'm in the mood for this definitely. Hello, Lucas, mate. Hope you keep you well. Yeah, so a few surprises to be honest. I thought going into this game, will this be the game where she actually keeps the same starting 11? I actually thought she possibly could have done, but she's definitely shuffled the pack. What are your first thoughts, Anthony, when you saw the lineup?
Oh yeah, when I saw it, I was like, blimey. And at first, I didn't even realise Preston Haley. Like, I know Haley's been on the bench quite a lot, but I look at it and I saw some of the occlusions, and I didn't even think about Preston Haley lad, and then you go back to it and you think, oh blimey. And it was probably because Casey, when she didn't have any injuries, which probably threw me. Uh,
Yeah,
So no, it was definitely a surprise, especially Harris, and obviously maybe her thinking's given Amy a rest.
hmm
She's had quite a lot of football,
yeah,
but I think it will be good to see how Maria and Millie do at centre back. So that would be good,
mhm.
and maybe it's a height thing again. Possibly Amy's done well, but it would be good to see them two and see how they get on. I think.
Yeah. I think we've been calling for quite a while. Hello, Ben, mate. Hope you keep you well. If anybody didn't see the Ben and Matt show yesterday, go down our Twitter page and just watch that one out. Ben and Matt, Saturday Night Live. Always a great show. Yeah, so for me, let me just read out the starting 11. So it is just Earps in goal, as you just mentioned, Millie and Maria as centre backs. Owen and Martha as full backs. In the centre, it looks like the Toonies gone back in the centre now with Katie and Jackie. And then the front three we'll discuss as well in a bit. Jess, Hanson, and LJ. Not too sure exactly how they're going to line up, but we can discuss that as well. For me, yeah. So you touched on no injuries. I don't know. I'm always a bit skeptical. I am, especially look. Press, Hayley Ladd. It had to be those two players, didn't it? If it was going to be two players where we was playing mind games, it had to be there's been so much, so much conversations about Hayley Ladd not starting. Then all of a sudden she's not even in the starting 11 now. Kristen Press, okay, she got the goal and she played okay last week, but she's not really blown anyone away lately. Is it Jess's turn? Is Casey protecting the players? Is it genuine? If it is genuine, how many times can Kristen Press be unfit? What's going on with Hayley? I don't know. I'm always skeptical. But what I would say is that starting 11, I'm excited about it. I think you mentioned the centre, you mentioned the defence, so I'll mention the midfield now. Great to see Tooney back in the centre. I think it's where she belongs. It's okay that she's done a job out wide, and she has done a job out wide, but let's be honest, first position is more of an attacking centre midfielder. She's going to get them goals, isn't she? So, yeah, standing fourth on the bench. So, obviously, she's opted to go for Tooney and Jackie and Zellum. I think looking at who's on the bench and who's on the starting 11, I think she's actually chose the strongest starting 11 there available to her. Would you have made any changes at all looking at the bench, looking at the starting 11? Are you happy with that one?
Uh, what she's got available, I'm happy with. Obviously, there's always a few like, oh, does she obviously start Stansforth, or does
hmm
Smith start instead of Harris, or normally you have Amy start with Millie, and then like she did last week, Maria at right back. So there's all them
Mm.
uh, examples of what she could have went for. But I'm like you. I think with the three in midfield, Tooney would definitely be the furthest forward, and Tooney, she can take a shot from the edge in a box, and
Yeah.
it goes in sometimes. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Well, one of our joint leading goal scorers. So that's it's where she needs to be in and around the box and taking those chances. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned we could have had Smith on there instead of Harris. I think we might see some if the game goes well. I can see us getting a few subs on there and us seeing some players that we haven't seen for ages. For example, Smith or okay, we've seen Stanley Forth, so she might be brought on more
it.
as more to maybe create a goal if we are losing, for example, or drawing. But there are some youngsters on there again, so I'm excited about the subs bench as well.
Exactly. It all depends how the game goes. You don't know what you're going to get with Brighton. They were on a good run, and then obviously last week they lost 5-0. But the problem is we're Man United, and everyone raises their game for Man United.
Yeah.
You think,
yeah.
You only look at the Reading game the other night where they just got beat by West Ham. But then, for some reason, they always seem to turn up. And it was even last week. I know they lost in the end, but they only just got beat by City through a late goal. So teams definitely raised their games for us. And also going past the previous games we've had against Brighton, obviously, if I'm right, our first one was the FA Cup in our first season where we had a great 2-0 win. And even then, Siobhan saved a penalty. Last year, it was inconvenient for travelling fans, so there wasn't many of us. But we got lucky that game. We were lucky to escape with a point, and on another day, we would have lost. But so we can't be complacent. We know we're going to be in a game. We know Brighton can create chances. You just have to look. Brighton beat Chelsea's run.
Yeah. We'll talk about the strikers in a bit because we spoke about the defence of the midfield, but just touching on that, it is now a good time to play Brighton because they haven't really got much to play for because they're not going to get relegated. They're not going to be like the best of the rest of the top four. Have they got much to play for? On the flip side, Casey described it, I think it was Casey, as a wounded animal. They want to come back and, at home as well. They want to probably get a result. I mean, what are your thoughts on maybe how Brighton will go for this game?
I don't think that you can say there's ever a right time or that. They've come off the back of a big thrashing.
Yeah.
They've got nothing to play for, but they've got their positions to play for. If their performances drop and that, then they could find themselves out of the team. Like Casey said, they're a wounded animal. They want to prove that was a one-off and they just had a bad game. And like I said, it's Man United. Any win against Man United, especially for a team like Brighton, is like a major. Like, I had a look at the odds, and Scott, I haven't had a bet for all the people that hate, but it's 11-1 for Brighton to beat United. So,
okay.
But you can. It's football, isn't it? Football's a funny old game. You can never say never. But I definitely think Brighton will be out to prove a point. So it will be a tough one.
Yeah, I think so. I think it will be tough. Ben's in the comments. Speaking about Hansen will be key today. So let's talk about the three strikers then. So far this season, we've seen LJ play on the left. We know Hansen can play on the left or the right. We know LJ can play up front. We know Jess can play on the right wing and up front. Try and decide, Anthony. I mean, where do you think the starting positions will be? Who do you think will be left, right, and centre? Or does it even matter? Do you think they'll interchange?
They could interchange. Yeah. Mainly it would be Lauren and Kirsty if they. Not Lauren and Kirsty. It would be the right and left that would mainly interchange. I think, like we've discussed, Jess can play on the right and Lauren can go up front. So if there's going to be anyone who mainly goes up front, it'll either be Jess or Lauren. But looking from them three, I think Jess will be the main one in the middle. Yeah. I think Lauren will start on the left, Kirsty will start on the right.
Yeah, I think so as well. If this was a few weeks ago, I might have said something different. I might have said Hansen on the left, Jess on the right, and LJ up top. But because we've seen LJ on the left for quite a while now, where we all, as fans, we all scream out to play Jess down the middle, and we know how good Kirsty's on the right. So Yeah, so for me, I think I agree with you there definitely. But there's always scope there now for them to change things around. We saw it a lot last week, didn't we? In the first half last week, where we didn't really know who was playing where because they all kept on moving around, and it worked out okay in the end. But the first half, not quite so much. But it was good to kind of confuse the opposition. I think we've got three strikers there with Tooney behind them that can really score some goals today. Like I say, they're not, there's a couple on form, there's a couple that's been out, but I think they're more capable of scoring quite a few goals. Regarding LJ, Casey spent a bit of time talking about LJ. I think social media spoke about LJ this week. I've been saying that the past couple of games, she's been like one of our best players in the last couple of games. What are you expecting from LJ today?
Just more of the same. She she has brilliant spells and that, and she brilliant and gets past a player quite a lot of the time. But sometimes she can be quite frustrating. You think it's almost like she runs into them and thinks they're just going to move out of the way occasionally, yeah. And you think, but why are you running into them? Just if you want to take it, just take it round them. You got the skill in that, and we all know from the left she can cut in, and you only have to look at the Chelsea game where she scored that goal. She cut in from the left, brilliant goals. She always won for the big occasion. I find LJ though, so
yeah, I agree, and it's good that she's being talked about because we haven't spoken too much about her this season because she hasn't played as often as last season. And I'm glad that she's getting a few plaudits there and a bit of recognition because I think she really deserves it. And if she gets a goal today as well, she can really keep that momentum going, can't she? I'm really excited to see these. Yeah, I'm really excited to see these three players with Tooney behind. It's all of our like our original players who have earned the place, and I think I am excited to see that. Okay, so regarding the subs bench, I am a little bit worried, like in the sense of if things aren't going our way. 20 minutes to go, still 0-0. Can we see goals on the bench? So on the bench, we have got obviously Bentley in goal, Amy Turner, who John Fry's mentioned in the comments, gutted no Amy. I don't think it's anything about her, John. I think it's just a case of, everyone wants to see Maria tested a centre back, so one of them had to drop out. So at the moment, it's Amy. So Amy's on the bench. Bourne, Smith, Jones, Staniforth, and Ross. So I guess it depends how the game's going. If we're getting a lot of possession in and around the box, I would have thought maybe Jane Moss will come on. But if we can't even get the ball to the forward, maybe Staniforth will come on. But what's your thoughts on the sub bench?
Like you said, it is a bit short. If we're chasing a goal, you've got Jane Ross who can win it. She's quite good in the air. She's good with a head and all that. But in terms of game-changing experience in attack, other than Jane Ross, you got two youngsters, Kirsty Smith and Amy Turner. They're not really the kind of players that are going to get you a goal. Yeah, Amy Turner could possibly get one from a corner, and you never know. Smith could get lucky, have a shot, and we all go wild. But you do mention the bench, but it's the same for Brighton. Brighton, I looked at the Brighton team, glimpse, and I looked at their bench, and they've got two goalkeepers on their bench.
Wow. Okay.
So I think they're a bit bare minimum on their bench as well.
Yeah. I just think with Kirsty Smith, I think she's probably like the most attacking fullback or that we've got. That's obviously not owner. So potentially, if we need to get forward more, you might see a defensive change. And this is where some fans will start saying, "Oh, why are you replacing fullbacks when we need a goal?" But maybe if Kirsty Smith can get forward more than Martha, then maybe I can understand if Kirsty Smith comes on. Hey, let's hope that we don't need to go down this route. Let's hope that by 60 minutes we're 1-0 or 2-0 up and we can enjoy the game and then bring Tara and carry on, and that would be great, wouldn't it? And potentially, that could be the case. How do you see the game going? Before we start giving our score predictions, obviously it's not going to be easy, but can you see us dominating the game, or how do you see it?
I think, I think it'll be we'll dominate possession. I feel like we'll pass the ball around and that, but I'm hoping we pass it round with conviction. It goes to our players. There was too much in that, especially against West Ham in that first half, where we'd be passing the ball round, and then we would be losing it, and then they got their chances first half. Luckily, none of them were brilliant chances, but through our own sloppiness, they were getting chances. So, hopefully, with the possession we have, we use it wisely. Get obviously with Hansen and Lauren. Obviously, it's not as big as pitch as Old Trafford, but get it down the wings and get players into the box. Maybe gamble on it hitting the keeper and coming out, because I feel like a lot of the good teams like do that and they always score. Like I watched briefly a bit of the Chelsea Birmingham game and someone had a shot, the keeper saved it and Sam Kerr was there. I feel like with us quite a lot of the time, someone will have a shot but they don't gamble on it, and then whereas if you gambled on it, then you're there in a brilliant chance to score. Whereas I feel like we're a bit hesitant. We're like, we think, hopefully it'll go in, or the keeper could probably save it. I definitely reckon we've got to gamble a bit more.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think the same, and I think we should be doing this more often against teams. Just get some more shots in. I think Jess will gamble. I think if she's playing up top, I think she'll be sniffing around a lot. And also regarding like our high press, I mean, she's going to be tracking players there, and Jackie is, Tooney is, Hanson is. So I can really see it being high intensity up that area of the pitch. But yeah, I definitely want to see some shots outside the box. We mentioned Tooney can be doing that. So I can see us. It's hard to say if as long as we win that midfield battle, I do think we can get the ball out wide. LJ is going to be really strong on the left if he plays on the left. We saw that against Chelsea and in other games as well. I can't wait to see Hanson play. We haven't really seen much of Hanson lately, so I think she'll have a point to prove, and she wants to earn her place back on that right hand side, and I think she'll get it. I think if she plays well today, she'll play the remainder of the games on that right hand side, which she deserves. And then I'd love to see Jess get a goal as well. So Ben's made a prediction 2-0 Lauren James brace. I think I've been saying 2-0 on social media, so I'm going to stick with 2-0. I don't know who's going to score. I think Jess will score. So I'm going to say a Jess goal. How about yourself, Anthony? What's your kind of predictions and scorers?
I'm going to be different. I'm going to say 2-1.
Yeah,
but
you think going to be?
Yeah. It all depends, though, don't it? I think 2-1 because you never know with United. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like a lot, like set pieces and Brighton. I don't think Brighton are bad in the air, and it all depends, though, isn't it? Hopefully, we can not concede any goals from corners or free kicks, and nothing silly over the top. And potentially we could keep a clean sheet. But I feel like if we did what we did against West Ham last week, I feel like we're not always going to get away with them type of mistakes. So I definitely think there's potential they could score. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I reckon I'll go for a hard 2-1, hard fought win.
Yeah. I'll still take that. A win's a win at the end of the day. We know that we're not going to win on goal average anymore, so we just need to win our remaining games, don't we? So 2-1, 2-0, that would be absolutely brilliant. Do you want to shout out a goal scorer before we leave?
I will go Lauren James and Jess.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, definitely. Yeah.
And
Oh,
if it was like last week, I'd have been correct because I said Lauren and Press were going to score.
yeah, well, I was a little bit wrong. I said press, but I think I said a press hat trick, I think, didn't I? So yeah, I think I was expecting a little bit too much. But yeah, look, we know it's going to be hard. We know Brighton have won Chelsea. We spoke to an Arsenal fan on here a couple of 3 weeks ago on our YouTube channel, and she said out of all the remainder of the games now, I think Arsenal play Brighton on April the 25th, and she's expecting that to be the hardest game now for the rest of Arsenal's season. So we know Brighton's going to be a tough game. But it doesn't matter, does it now? We just got to go out to win. There is nothing else, and hopefully we do get that win. Because I can't see Arsenal dropping points in 2 games. So
nah, definitely not.
We got to win, haven't we? Guys, we'll come back at half time just for another 10-minute chat, just for our assessment there, and then you can catch our match reaction on YouTube as always on Monday night. And yeah, that's it, guys. So Anthony, hope you enjoy the first half, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. So do I. Yeah, we'll do. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody in the comments. See you soon.